Hey guys, this is Nick with Cymatics and welcome to video number 3 in our Hip Hop Beat Making Foundation series. And in this video, we're going to be putting some 808s into our beat. We have our melody ready to go. Let me just play it for you. Just a kind of a dark trap melody. And now we're going to put some 808s under it. So I'm just going to show you guys the way I typically do it. So again, I put my 808s in a MIDI track, and I'm going to be using Goliath for this. And the general idea is, first of all, I pick like an 808 in the note of C, so that I can just match it to the chords that I picked if I knew the chords. But here I just usually do it so that I can, if I ever don't like the sound, I can pick a different sample, and I'll know whether I should transpose up or down to match the pitch again, because all these are different notes for different keys of songs. So let's pick C for now, because it'll just be easier that way. And what I do is I kind of go by ear and see which of the notes line up with my chord. So I usually do this in the higher octaves. C3 is the main octave here, so that whenever we find our notes, we can bring them back to the C3 register. So we can even go all the way up here. So we can hear that's wrong. Let me bring the 808 up a bit. Let me bring it up a bit here. Nope. 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 There you go. So that locks in. And it's very easy to hear that when it's pitched up like this. So that I know if I drop this down, it's going to sound good. Now if I bring this up again, I know that the second chord that I picked was one semitone above, so I can just put that there, and let's see if I'm right. That's good. We can also put it here just to demonstrate it, which is a good idea also, to just match the 808 perfectly with the chord, because that'll you'll be able to make sure whether the actual chord itself is in tune with the 808 and not later on when the chord might be changing a bit with the different notes. Because I can put this chord over here, or this note over here, and it works, but it could be ambiguous. So if I pick a different note, it's not really clear whether or not it's correct until I put it under the chord. And under the chord, it sounds wrong. So I always recommend putting your 808s directly underneath the chord at first if you don't know which note it should be, and then you can move it around because it'll be correct anywhere. So I just know that it's one semitone up. You can also put it down to D, and then go up here. So there's some leeway here. There's no one right answer here. But the way the chords are going, it was more along these lines, up and then down here. Perfect. So let's transpose this down, and let's change the groove a bit to make it more interesting, because I don't really like when the 808s follow the chords too closely. And kind of do the same thing. And here we can duplicate the 808 to make it more bouncy here. And then add another note here. I don't even understand which note that is, so we can bring it up one. Yeah, that's the right note. There we go. Because the 808 is playing its own melody, even though it's a bass instrument. We could also try some 808 slides. I might not use this in the final beat, but I'll just show you guys how to do it. Usually you would want to find a control that's called glide or portamento. I'm going to use glide, increase your time, and this should be enough to trigger the slide when you put another note on top of it. Not like this, where both notes line up in the beginning, but later. This way, you'll know that this note will slide up to this note. So let's try that, see how that sounds. There we go. That gives it a more interesting vibe. If you want it to be faster, you reduce this glide time. If you want it to be more lazy, you increase it. That's cool too. Now, at this point, what I like doing is to, if I don't like the 808, I can just audition new 808s, which is why I can do it easily because I'm using MIDI, and I can just hot swap. And since I'm at the same note still, C, I don't have to, like the note C, but I don't have to transpose up and down the notes. It's a shorter 808. I personally prefer kind of a shorter vibe for this particular loop, because whether or not you pick a short or long 808, obviously it's up to taste, but generally it depends on the loop. The loop will determine, the melody will determine whether you want a short 808 or a longer 808, because when you have a longer 808, it's more spacey. You have more opportunity to have the drums play a big role in the mix. You can put more percussion to make it more interesting, and the 808's just kind of riding underneath the loop. But if you have a short 808, it becomes more uplifting. It becomes more triumphant, and I kind of like that with this softer loop. But okay, so I like the timing of the 808. It's short, but I want an 808 that's a bit more aggressive in its sound. I want it to be more distorted. It's getting a bit closer. Now, if I wanted to pick a different 808, but it's a different note now, it's not C, let's say it's C sharp. Sharp just means one semitone above. So it just means one horizontal row upwards in your MIDI. So if you're at C sharp now, your 808s are going to be off. But you'll know to transpose all of them one semitone down, one horizontal row down, because we went one semitone up from C to C sharp, so you have to bring it one down in the notes, and that'll correct it. Kind of like the long 808s here too, so it's really up to taste. And the short 808s give a vibe too. So I'm looking for an 808 that meshes really well in its tone with the loop and the tonal qualities of the loop. The loop's very soft. I want a very specific kind of texture to the 808. So now I went up another note. I have to bring you can transpose either here in the MIDI, or here or in the MIDI. So I'm going to bring this back up to where it was before. And I'm going to transpose this down 2 semitones in here. 3. A lot of different choices here. Going up one. These all work, but that'd be interesting. Let's try that one out. It's a very short 808. That's cool, because when it's a shorter 808, it gives you more chances to put more 808 notes in there, and it's not going to clash. So here you can go. because if it's a longer 808, it's not going to sound as good because it's so bloated that you won't be able to make these shorter, quicker riffs. So I like how that bangs. And again, we can change all this later, but once the drums start coming together, we're going to be able to hone in on the kind of 808 we want. But for now, that'll be all for this video. So in the next video, we're going to start to put together some drums, and the way the drums will bounce and groove, that'll actually kind of let us have another shot at picking a different 808 to make sure that everything works together in harmony, right? Right now, it's okay if the 808 and the melody work together, but when you bring new stuff in, you have to always reassess and make sure that everything is still harmonious. So I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something from it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.